Okay, everyone, we're back for episodes. What are you laughing about already? We're back for episode 7 of the Lucky Dogs podcast, and this is actually one that since the start I've wanted to do for a long time, and actually brought a good friend of mine on, and a lot of people know him a bit differently to me, but I've brought on Hayden Pullen. So thanks for coming on, Hayden.
Thanks for the invite, mate.
Yeah. So
Glad to be here.
for people who don't know, and a few would know him, it's last year Hayden was the guy flying the plane that accidentally hit the wall at Bathurst while landing with the Bathurst trophy. So you pretty much haven't spoken out about it since after that event. So we thought we'd bring you on and talk about what you've done in supercars, what you're still doing in supercars outside of flying. This is to do with race cars, engines. You actually drove in Super 2 back in the day, and you've been involved in it massively. So I want to bring you on and talk about that for a while, and then we'll talk about the incident at Bathurst that sort of blew up social media all around.
We won't run out of time before we get to the plane bit, will we?
Yeah. You might want us to. But no, we'll try not to run out of time. That'll be the juicy bit at the end. But talk to us about, because I know you through flying and through the engine side of it and everything, and you've told me you raced Super 2 back in the day, but talk us about, I guess, how you got into doing engines. You raced Super 2 for a couple of rounds, I believe.
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
Well, started racing Speedway. So the short story of the whole life story, we had trucks, so we did a lot of driving. So we had trucks that used to go pretty good, and we did express freight and stuff, a family business with trucks. We've still got the trucks now, just toys these days. They're still registered and still go to work, but they're mainly for toys. They go to most of the supercar rounds, taking stuff, our drift cars and stuff. But anyway, when we're driving trucks, because driving sort of become fairly easy. It was an easy thing for us to do, and then some of my mates started racing Speedway in Wagga. So I built a Speedway car and went racing Speedway. And there was a lot of panel damage in Speedway racing. I thought, geez, there was less panel. I was noticing less panel damage in some circuit racing stuff.
Was it just on
your
car?
It could be just... No, honestly, I had a really good run not tearing up cars. And I'd back out of things where I used to get really annoyed when someone just slammed into you. Or the yellow flag had come out, so you'd see the car 2 corners ahead of you, blocking the track, then everyone else was still full noise, just slammed into each other. But anyway, it's just...
Were you playing destruction derbies or racing?
Yeah, but that's what it felt like. It felt like you're doing 200 mile an hour when you're doing 80k an hour.
Yeah.
But anyway, I bought I thought, I want to do some stuff on the tar, because I did so much driving in trucks and stuff on the tar, and I had some fast street cars at the time. And I bought an old brute ute, an old Falcon ute. And I ran it on a Super TT classes and some low-level sports sedan class, and just entered it and just started getting laps in that. And it was so slow, eh? My road car was faster than it. My road car had bigger brakes and would have wiped the floor with it. Anyway, I ended up putting a dog box in. It started hotting it up. Then I'm at Oran Park one day, because we used to do a lot at Oran Park. I raced trucks there, and I was at Oran Park, and I was talking to a couple of guys about how I'm hotting this ute up. And Cedars had just written off that AU at Wakefield, that AU Falcon. There's 7 cars in it, the Teb's car, and I forget all the other cars, but they were Fujitsu cars back then. And they all come together, and anyway, he said, I've got a body shell, it's in the bin. If you want any bits out of it, to put it into that ute. So we're going to sort of half hot rod this ute with this supercar stuff. Then I looked at it, and it was pretty bent. This body shell was pretty buggered. And I thought, I really wanted the supercar. So anyway, I brought it home, paid him $1,500. That's how bad it was, right? It was the last BHAG AU ever built. So it's a really late model. BAs were already made.
Yeah.
And this AU, they finished building it. Toll, so Paul Little and Anthony Tratt had it. They only did 2 rounds. He did Canberra and Bathurst, so it was a pretty fresh car. Anyway, I get to home and thought, I just want to own a supercar. This is going to be so cool. $1,500. So anyway, I started cutting her up, all the bent bits, because you can't straighten parts in a supercar. You can't just pull it like a panel beat a normal road car. So I started cutting out all the bent bits and ended up with not much left. So anyway, rebuilt the car, got the body shell straight. Then we had a bent diff housing and sort of cut and shut it and made it straight. And anyway, we got the car to go again. So I built a motor just out of bits, second-hand DJR stuff and some T8 stuff, and it was a Ford, obviously. So second-hand conrods and roller rockers. It was all proper supercar stuff. So we built the engine and started racing it. Yeah, so I started getting heaps of laps in supercars. So I was doing rides for Winton and Wakefield, doing every ride day we possibly could. They were inviting us to do that, corporate rides, and we raced in Super TT, and it won every race, that car. Which was a bit of a cheat, really, honestly, because it was too fast for that class.
Yep.
I turns up in Supercar and hose everyone and, getting trophies. And anyway, it was still good practice, though. So I was pretty current because obviously testing is very limited in supercars. If you want to get good at it fast, it takes time, doesn't it? Because you just can't go and drive them every day. Yep. So every day we possibly could have a day off, go and hire some track time or borrow some track time, and I'm driving a supercar.
Yep.
So I got fairly current really quick. Didn't have any money, but got current. Then Cedars, they were pretty interested in because it's their car. And they said, Homebush, first street round at Homebush, 2009. I thought, I want to run the AU there, but it was too old. Had to be at least a BA. So we thought we'll borrow a BA body shell off them and put all my stuff into their body shell. And it turned out that pretty well the whole car was Cedars. We just ran one of their cars. And anyway, ran Homebush, got 11th in that round there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, didn't put a marker. Couldn't afford to put a marker. I had no money. I just scraped through enough money to do the lease deal. And I thought, I can't tear a corner out of this car. Just can't. Not an option.
And Homebush is the easiest place to do that.
Yeah, that's
a
a good place to start.
I rode a push bike around. Well, no one had done a lap there yet. Like nobody. It was brand new. I rode a push bike and I'm looking at the walls and I couldn't tell where it's going left or right because you just see concrete, So and I thought, well, everyone's in the same boat. So we just got to sneak up on this. So
anyway. I need a recap for this. So you started off in Speedway and you didn't like the panel damage and then you decided pretty much to go from there. Then you end up buying a supercar for $1,500. And what do you reckon it owed you by the time you got it track running, you reckon?
Oh, probably would have been cheaper just to buy a new one. No, to be honest, it's pretty cheap.
But it's the journey, right? Like, I'm sure you would have enjoyed working on it. And I guess I can see why you got out of Speedway because everything that I've seen that you own is just beautiful. Like the planes, trucks, anything that you're touching is just like...
Yeah, it's all nice gear.
It's beautiful. So I can't believe that you used to play in the dirt. That's actually news to me. I just can't see you out there in the dirt, to be honest.
Oh, that was still a lot of fun hanging around with good people and we'll just hotting up 202s back in the day. And yeah.
And was that... was Homebush your only round you did then?
Yeah.
Yep. So just you wanted to do one round. You're like, I'm going to do one round. I've done a fair few laps. And you went out and pretty much got it done. Yeah,
got Homebush done. I just wanted to do just one proper round. And anyway, I got that done and didn't tear the car up. And I probably should have drove it harder, so could have got some more places. But no, I just could not afford to pull a corner out of the car. So we, I think it was only H-Pattern Hollinger left that I drove, and shift cut wasn't working.
Yeah, right.
And so... sometimes it worked.
Yeah.
And when it didn't work, it was so frustrating. So I ended up just loading the stick up. So when you're getting held up, like if you're in traffic or whatever, it didn't matter so much. But when you wanted to gain an extra metre, when shift cut wasn't working, I'm just loading the stick up from second to third and changing gears on the limiter. So as the limiter started fluffing in, just bang it in the third.
Yep.
Anyway, it was a heap of fun and pretty... But I was thinking, geez, I wish I had a sequential.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And the thing wouldn't look after, and I didn't know how to look after my rear tyres. Next month, rear tyres had gone off. It's burning up, driving it like a speedway car.
Yeah, there's obviously a period in life that, like I've heard a fair bit of your story, but there's a period there from when you did Homebush to when you started flying that you just went into business and started doing well in that. Like, was that when you started American Diesel, is it?
Yeah, we always had an engine building business, so never not built engines. And we started doing, when I was racing trucks, because we had trucks and we used to build our own truck engines. So built a bit of both, race engines, truck engines. And truck engines are always more money, but a lot harder work and nowhere near as fun. And, you're filthy dirty all the time. Everything's heavy. And anyway, I did a bit of truck racing. So I did 2 seasons of that.
Yep. And
we drove that light Isuzu. Won every single race in that Isuzu. Isuzu was the co-driver thing. So it was a lot of fun. And Oran Park, just loved Oran Park back them days when we were running there. And Malala. Actually, last time I was at Malala, I was in a truck. And Paul Morris was there. That was the last time he was there as well.
Right.
In 94.
94.
94,
no, it was after 94.
Oh, really?
He raced, that was 94 in that BMW.
Yeah.
No, he raced Bobby McGee's HQ. Whatever year that was. He was there in a HQ. And I was going to let him drive the truck. I said, have a run in the truck. But what we had to do, if I won that race, I didn't have to go to Barbagallo the next round because I would have won the championship by not going to Barbagallo. I thought, well, just in case I don't go to Barbagallo, if the truck blows up or something, I might as well just try and win the race. I couldn't let Paul drive it. So he was actually set up to drive the truck, then he couldn't.
Yeah, right.
So he just kept punting around his HQ. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you did 2 years of that, and
Yeah.
then what? So what's that? That's like the mid-90s.
Yeah.
When did you get your plane license then?
About that time, but I didn't.
really?
Yeah, what happened? I got sponsored. No, 2009.
2009. That's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, no, let me think. When I got the license, 2009.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah. So what happened? That Wagga Air Centre sponsored us, and sponsored us the Speedway, right?
Yep.
So we had their stickers, and I was just so interested in planes, I couldn't stop looking at it and trying to learn stuff off planes, how they do plumbing and run wiring and stuff like that. That we could develop that into race cars we're putting together. And he said, "Come out and go for a fang on one of these planes." And I said, "Oh, can I just fly it?" I said, "Oh, well, we got to be with you." So I'd never flown one before. And he said, "You can actually taxi it out of the..." And that was pretty cool. Like, the actual... Never been in a plane before, and he let me taxi it. Well, that's the deal. You can taxi it with the instructor from the hangar all the way to where you take off the runway, and he helps you get it off the ground and have a bit of a steer in the sky. And anyway, I thought, oh, this is me. I want to do this. I've got to be back. When can I book the next lesson? So one of the guys I went with was a military aerobatic guy. He did a fair few aerobatics, old Greg. And he said, "Come for a ride in an RV." We went for a ride in a Victor air tourer.
Yep.
And went for a ride in his RV. And I got sick, actually, pretty well straight away. We did a couple of loops and just basic stuff, rolls and loops. And I got crook, but I loved it that much. I thought, I don't want to fly normal. I just want to do what he's doing. That's all I want to do. So not long after that, I bought an RV and got to the aerobatic limit of that.
Which actually, going... Another insight to that, Jacko Strong bought that off you, the motocross rider after.
Correct. Well, we started flying at the same time, me and Jacko. We're great mates. We grew up, and great mates with my boy, Mitch. And spent a lot of time. We spent a hell of a lot of time together, and we got in there flying at the same time, and both of us never wanted to fly normal. So same as his riding with motocross. So we started to learn that planes, not only elevator, aileron and stuff, to steer the plane around, we learnt that gyro gets them around as well. So anyway, we talk to each other all the time about how to get planes to do stuff they're not supposed to do using gyroscopics. And anyway, he bought that first RV off me.
Yep.
Then I bought another RV, and then I got pretty well to the aerobatic limit of what RVs should be doing.
Yep.
And I thought, I've got to buy a stronger plane, so couldn't afford one. So I found a crashed one in Germany. So we bought that. Bit like the supercar, bought it for next to nothing. Would have been cheaper just to buy a new plane, but anyway, we bought that. Had a wrecked engine, which suited me down to the ground because we're building engines, and it didn't have that big of a crash, but it ground looped and went on an island at Helgoland in Europe, and it sucked in sand and stuff into the air intake because they don't run air cleaners. It goes straight through the throttle body, smashed all the blades off the prop, so destroyed the engine and damaged the wing, not too bad, but bad enough that you can't use it. So had to buy a new wing. Anyway, bought that plane over, built the engine, and while we were at it, we thought we might as well hot it up a bit.
Yep.
Then put some lighter weight components in it and some really cool pistons with parallel rings and gas-ported top ring, and we made it a bit like, not really rocket science, but similar to how you'd build a supercar engine. Well, sort of for a plane. The
engines in planes, like people probably don't know, but they're old technology, aren't they?
Very old.
Like nobody wants to really recertify stuff in case in case anything goes wrong. You're sort of risking people's lives. So Lycomings have been around forever.
And they are reliable if you just leave them. Yeah.
Biggest thing about your plane, I guess for people listening at home, it was a certified aircraft that had a crash. But if you can deregister that from certified back to an experimental aircraft, which you did, which then allows, because you can do experimental engines. So Hayden can build experimental engines for pretty much all the planes you build at home and everything like that. But right now you're not building for certified, really.
That's right.
Which is really just a license. It's, like getting a mechanic license. There's a lot of people that can do mechanical work, but it's getting that. So you brought it back, uncertified it, put it to a experimental aircraft, and then you could build the whole engine for it.
That's exactly right, yeah. And obviously, because we have a dyno there, we can put aeroplane engines on the dyno. So we tested that in the dyno, and nothing was really, we didn't really invent anything new. It was just stuff that we're already using anyway. Like the piston was just like a modern day piston, how you'd put a piston today.
Yep.
In anything. Like even OE road cars wouldn't go that 1940 stuff. Like aeroplane engines, the top ring and the second ring on the piston is the same part number, which is absolutely crazy. Like road cars haven't done that since the 30s. So the second ring needs to be a scraper to get that oil out of there and get the tension out of the oil ring by having the oil scrape. And anyway, we did all that cool stuff with my plane. Then because the pistons were lighter and we put better springs on it and the valve seats, like homing valve seats, one angle, like a Briggs and Stratton.
Yep.
It's I thought you can't have one angle on your valve seats.
Are you following all this?
Yeah, I obviously know exactly what's going on. No, I'm joking.
Most people know. Well, it's a 45-degree angle on the exhaust and 30-degree on the intake, right?
Yep.
So I thought, I can't have an engine with one angle on the valve seats. Like, we need multiple angles, and because we do race heads, cylinder heads, and we've got all the equipment to do that in the house, all our SERDI stuff. So we do a cool valve seat profile and got this thing revving. So there's less stress on my engine revving than a normal one because the components are more expensive and lighter. So I can rev it. And what I learned about revving it, just a little bit more, because the limitation then is the propeller becomes inefficient. You get to about $3,000 and the prop's not efficient anymore. So you've got to be under that. But the difference between a normal Lycoming rev to 2,700 and then the difference between revving to 3,000 revs and 2,700 revs, the gyro is more. And it's not a little bit more, it's like 4 times more. And not many people would ever learn that because they just don't rev the engine.
Mm-hmm. So that just pretty much what you're saying is the gyro just allows you to do more crazy stunts in the plane.
Stuff that a plane normally wouldn't do. And once I learned about that, and when I learned about gyro is actually pretty simple. I learned it with a push bike wheel. I grab the push bike wheel with a thing on it and you spin it. And if you've ever done that, it gets out of control and you think, this is weird. I went that way and the wheel went that way.
Yep.
So how it works is you add 90 degrees to wherever the force. So if I've got a push bike wheel and want it to yaw that way, if I yaw it that way while it's spinning, if you add 90 degrees to it, that's the way the wheel goes. The same as the plane. So your prop's doing this. So I fly the plane completely different now. So you got the prop spinning and I just go, right, what do I want the disc to do? I want to do a front flip. I want to do a tumble. I want to whatever. So I know that yaw it, add 90 degrees to that and that'll throw the plane forward. Then you throw the elevator in and it's double the force.
For a bit of context, Hayden's building my plane engine, so for my Glass Air 3, so I took it there. But I walk in one day to his hangar and I thought, who is this madman? He's got a wheel there and he's spinning it and he's moving it all around and I'm going, what is he doing here? This guy's lost the plot. I'm like, this is a bit random, and I'm looking at it and then I want to learn aerobatics, and obviously I just met Hayden at this point and he'd been doing heaps of aerobatics, and I'm like, okay, well, got an awesome extra 330 that you're flying at the time and that, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So I was trying to work out what you're doing. Then you said, come in and feel it, and like you say, you spin the wheel and you say if you turn the wheel right, it actually changes where you feel it in your hand. So that shows what a plane would actually react like. So I never thought of that until you started showing me. And it probably shows to a lot of people behind the scenes how much effort you were putting into your flying at this time. I think I went in there about 2022, I think I started building the plane. And you were doing, I couldn't believe it. I thought, God, this guy's going to go broke because he's not working. He's just flying every day. But you were literally doing 10 flights a day, like maybe not 10, but 5-6 flights a day, just flying and practicing and coming back, practicing with the wheel, what you could make better. Can you do a different maneuver that the plane probably shouldn't do? And you're trying to learn so much. And I think around probably that time is when we became pretty good mates. Like I started doing my flying. I wanted to do aerobatics. We went out and you trained me doing a fair bit of aerobatics. We went out and had some fun, and it was a really weird thing because being a supercar driver, you think you're good, you know what I mean? Like not in that way, but you think you can drive, you think you can do things. So I went up with Hayden and he's showing me all these moves, and I'd done my aerobatic license and I can do loops, rolls and general stuff. But Hayden's putting me in spins, which are easy, but just the recovery, like it's, I guess like us drifting compared to you drifting, Hayden, in no rude way, we're going to recover it quite easily and know exactly what's going on. But Hayden's like, recover on the 090 heading, and I'm trying to recover and I'm like, shit, this thing's not recovering. But then Hayden does it and just boom, 090 recovered. So it was pretty cool at that time to go out there and do so much aerobatics together, and then come in and with, I guess, your expertise on the plane engines and everything, we pulled my plane. I guess if anyone hasn't watched my YouTube channel, at the start I bought a Glass Air 3. We went and stripped it down and brought the engine up to you, and you showed me pretty much, I hadn't pulled an engine down before, so you pulled it all down there and we went through it all. It's still sitting there because I've put it on pause for a little bit, the build, but yeah, pretty much that's how we met and started doing a fair bit of aerobatic stuff, but also engine stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and the gyroscopic stuff it's not that hard. You just got to get your head around it. And I had the time. My business was going okay, so I had a bit of time. Mitch was working his bloody ass off, but my young bloke. So, and I'm going out just burning up avgas. Avgas is evil. You've got to burn as much of it as you possibly can. Get rid of it. So anyway, I do as many fights as I could do a day.
I hope that shell, mate. Just so you know. And for anyone that doesn't know, Mitch is your son who drives the Boost drift car as well. Correct, at the events.
That's right.
Yeah.
Looking for your next ride or reliable servicing without the hassle? Lancaster Motor Group is your go-to destination. Whether you're after a brand new or quality pre-owned vehicle, great finance options, or expert servicing and parts, they deliver. With a focus on customer satisfaction, transparent deals, and trusted brands, Lancaster makes car buying easy and driving worrying-free. Visit lancastermotors.com.au today to explore your options, book a test drive, or schedule a service.
Yes, yeah. So we do a lot with supercars. Well, we're doing. It was pretty cool. We're doing.
You were doing more, not anymore.
We're doing a bit less now. Yeah, I've done a bit of dumb stuff, and
Are you still doing more? What are you talking about?
No, they still are.
Still
No,
do a fair
I'm
You're probably doing more now.
Yeah.
yeah, probably doing a fair bit, eh?
Because I see you almost every round now.
Yeah,
Well-
so we've got 2 cars at each round doing the entertainment between sessions.
Yep.
So if anyone's seen that boost car, that was young Mitch over the top last year, like full committed lap, lock to lock, and
Was that at Perth?
that was Perth. It was at Perth.
Yep.
So Perth has been twice now.
Yep.
But Bathurst last year
didn't
was.
see it last year.
Oh, he
Bathurst.
did. No, I do remember that
Just
actually. That was
skull on
wild.
down
wild.
the
Yeah.
hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is he back this year?
Yep. Two
Yep.
cars. 2 cars are back this year. So you'll see the Sylvia and the Hilux there.
Yep.
Yeah, and that Sylvia is an absolute animal. Like
Yeah.
the supercharger hanging out the bonnet and all that stuff, and it's gaining a fair bit of popularity. It's got a brand new wrap. It looks amazing. So we'll have the boost. Well, my transporter has boost written all over it,
Yep.
so that'll be an activation there as well.
You also become quite good friends because I always see with Scotty Taylor. So you
Yeah.
become quite good friends with him, and you drive his truck a bit as well to help him out and help his team out.
Yeah. So I do a lot with Scott.
Yep.
We have an absolute ball. We just get on really good, and he loves trucking. He's got so much passion for trucks.
Boy, does
and
he love trucks.
Yeah, he does.
he absolutely loves trucks more than I do. Like I grew up with him. I didn't have a choice. We had to like trucks. You know,
He has
but-
the race cars for the trucks.
That's right. Otherwise, we'd have no freight to
Yeah.
cart.
Yeah.
So we better buy Porsches and supercars just so we got something to take to the track.
His 9.0 is like my life goal. If I get a 9.0 the same as his truck, oh, that's me done.
Well, he's got a few 9s. He's got.
I do know.
He's got,
Yeah.
like 11, he's got like 11 Kenworths. So that 509, I pretty well spec'd that up. Then he took over at the last minute and added a bit more stuff to it. But I've pretty well done. It's done 30,000 Ks now, and I would have done 26,000 of those.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've done a whole lap of Australia, like every supercar around in that 5. And half the time I was towing our gear, like my stuff. So I leave my truck at home. Like my truck's perfect, ready to go. He went to Perth. Mitch drove it to Perth.
Yep.
And I was a bit jealous of him, actually. Anyway, you come with us. Then we took everywhere we go with Scott. If it's road trainable, we'll go as a road train. So,
Yep.
so obviously Perth and Darwin. We went with 2 B doubles with a dolly in between from Perth to Darwin and Darwin back home. And Scott just loves having heaps of trailers. Let's
Yep.
just hook as many trailers up as we possibly can. Anyway, that's been a bit of fun. I've really put a spring in my step hanging around with Scotty.
Yeah, he's a good fella. Great to have in the
Yeah.
sport, and he invests a lot of time and effort into it, doesn't he? But his setups are amazing. God, his attention to detail, like how nice those trucks are and all his gear
Yeah.
all the time is really amazing. So I can see why you guys get along. I guess going back to, like, when we met, you started doing my engine, and then at that time, I would say you were interested in, you weren't doing displays at this time. You're doing a heap of training, heap of aerobatic training all the time. Every time I spoke to you, you were out flying and practicing and doing displays. You were very good friends with Matt Hall and Emma, who were doing the displays for Supercars. And also Paul Bennett was doing a few, and you're obviously training up. And then I remember we had a conversation, and you said that after doing a bit with Supercars over the years, you'd met one of the guys and that asked you to come and look at doing some displays at Supercars. And what was your first display? Which one?
Townsville.
Townsville.
Yeah. Well, I was going to Townsville anyway. So I was at Townsville the year before, and no display's ever been done at Townsville before. I think I've done 2.
Yep.
And that's all there's ever. Did Matt do one after that? I can't remember. Anyway, no one had done one at that stage. So I was at Townsville that year anyhow.
Yep.
And I flew the plane up there. So the plane was sitting in the hangar. And I was talking to Supercars. I said, my plane's just around the corner. I should have went and cut a few laps. I said, oh, yeah? Right, I have to, yeah, you should have. We should have, obviously you can't just do it last minute. So next year rolled around and we put everything in place and put in a price, and we had to be at the event anyway, so it made sense to take the plane there. So anyway, Townsville was, then I did pretty well every one of them from then for over a couple of years, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you did, so what would that been, 23?
Oh, I think it was 23, yeah.
23. So you did 23, and then you also did Gold Coast. I remember you doing a display there with Mitch, where you fly along the beach there, and they had all the Boost Mobile gear in it. And you actually, after a couple of them, Boost Mobile actually jumped on board and sponsored the plane and Mitch.
That's right.
Mitch, yeah.
And the first one for me and Mitch together was Perth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and you actually landed on the track at Perth.
Yeah.
Same as Bathurst, which was pretty impressive. That looked pretty cool because you guys. So I'm sure a lot of people would have seen online, but you landed on the back straight going up the hill, and Mitch was on the front straight. And when you took off, you actually both sort of passed each other.
That's right.
So it took a fair bit of timing and making sure that was right.
Yeah, then we put the plane, we did like donuts in the plane on the ground in the burnout pad, and the cars going opposite directions to the plane and stuff like that. And that was pretty cool, that whole Perth thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the lead up to Bathurst, because you did that at the start, landed on the track.
Yeah.
And then pretty much from there, I guess this is getting into the juice part. How did it come about that Supercars decided they wanted to? Because I think it was cool they landed the Bathurst trophy there or at the track, but how did that come about?
Well, we're already locked in for the display for Bathurst. We're doing a display there regardless. And then we were asked hey, how cool would it be to deliver the Peter Brock trophy? And I thought, that's just like next level. That's just unreal.
Yep.
So we took that job on.
Yep.
Then in hindsight, it would have been better if I was sick that day or something. But did that job, and is that what we're talking about now?
We'll talk about it.
Anyhow, took that job on, and it's funny how I watch things on, people making mistakes on TV or social media, people doing dumb stuff, and you think, oh, what an idiot. I look at it and think, I'm glad I'm not one of those guys. And all of a sudden I'm one of those guys. I'm actually that guy. So I've had 12 months to think about this, is why did that happen? How does it happen? And what I've learned now, I certainly didn't know this before, but what happens now, it's a bit like if you're drunk, all of a sudden you're drunk and you're thinking you're making the right decisions and everything seems a good idea at the time. You might be driving your car home like stupid. And even just because you make it home doesn't mean it's right. So the pressure and the excitement and the adrenaline, which I didn't know before, but I know now, can make you be like you're drunk. So they're the things you need to control before that situation happens. You've got to let that pressure, you've got to control that pressure, don't let the pressure control you, which is certainly no excuse. What I did, I made the dumbest decisions ever. And geez, didn't I cop a spray on social media? And I deserved it. Yeah. Like you read some of the things, they were pretty nasty comments. But what I did was reckless, especially when you think about it. But at the time, it felt, it's not too bad. It's okay.
Yeah, yep.
Like everything felt, I was justifying it in my own head, delivered the Peter Brock trophy, which I did. That got delivered. Then I flew off out of there and, I had a plan that was all part of the plan, that if anything was to go wrong as you're taking off upwind, that we're going left because there's only grass and paddock there, and just steer it into there. So that was all planned. But when you look at it, that paddock over there shouldn't have even been a plan B. And I would never, that's the lesson out of that. Never do that again. Just what I should have done is just said, no, it's too hard.
Yep.
And I was talking to Paul Bennett, and it makes you have so much respect. You think, geez, them guys they're so good and so calculated under these, the Paul Bennetts, the Matt Halls and the Paul Andronicu's. And the other dangerous thing is, as you said before, I was flying so much. I got advanced my aerobatics and the gyro stuff. I got good at stuff real fast in a real short amount of time. And that can be a real dangerous thing, because your confidence comes up and you think, it doesn't matter what gets thrown at me, I'll handle it. I'm getting really good at this in such a short amount of time. But experience tells you there's a lot of things that you might make a dumb decision at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's sort of what I did. And it wasn't just one dumb decision. It was one led up into another and another, and I made a heap of dumb decisions.
Yeah, it was interesting though, because I watched you practiced it twice. Like obviously I knew we talked multiple times before the weekend and what you're doing there. And Matt Hall had obviously done the landing, not with, I guess, a crowd there, but he'd done the landing and achieved it. But it's a bit of a weird thing, and you can talk through it because the planning, there's a lot in the planning. Like I know you say you made a lot of dumb decisions, but people at home, like it wasn't just, hey, I'm just going to fly and do it. There was planning involved to try and make it safer and all that sort of stuff and try and make it work as best as possible. So it was come in, over, land, going up Mountain Straight. But the problem with that, it looks quite easy. Your plane's quite narrow and it looks like there's bitumen just to land on. The hardest thing with that is that there's a tree that actually sticks out over the track. And
right on late final.
Yeah, and this is something right on late final, that there's a tree that comes out over the track. So you actually can't land on the bitumen. You've got to land one wheel on the grass, one wheel on the bitumen. And you know better than anyone, but the plane that Hayden flies is actually known, it's a tail dragger. So you have the two wheels at the front, one at the back. The ones I fly is a tricycle. So you have one at the front, two at the back, a lot easier to control, a lot easier to land. But the thing with yours, it's quite easy to ground loop. They call it ground looping. And the easiest way to do that is pretty much have more braking on one side or land sideways or pretty much make a mistake. But when you're landing one wheel on grass, one wheel on the bitumen, it's probably the hardest landing, isn't it? Because you've got different grip surfaces per side. So that tree kind of made it a little bit hard to land, would you say?
Yeah, but it still should have been okay. So the actual landing bit was okay. That's exactly right.
Yep.
But if the biggest mistake I did was I wanted to turn the thing around. I wanted to slow it down, turn around and get maximum camera time so nothing was rushed and looks better for TV. Not that I was under any pressure to do that, but it worked out better for me that I did that than I landed, which was a fairly hard landing. I've landed, I thought, oh, thank God that's done.
Yep.
Then I just started relaxing. Then I put brake pressure on to slow the thing down so I could turn it, because the track gets real skinny. It's like a big V. And there's no vision out of an extra. All you can see is the horizon in front of you. You can't see nothing, but you see your peripheral out the sides. And you know the V's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is no reason the plane would fit through the V. Like the track's wide enough, but not a heap of room. Then you've got to taxi all the way to the top to a farm gate to do a U-turn. So I thought, I'm slow enough, I can turn it around now. So I give it a bit of brake pressure to slow down to do the U-turn. As soon as I give it brake pressure, obviously the wheel with the less grip, it yawed around. And lucky it didn't fire straight into the wall head on.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
It's just got different, Yeah,
because of what I should have done is just kept the brakes pressure, no brake pressure, let it sail all the way down the track to the driveway, turn around, would have been easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I should have done.
Yep.
And anyway, I was lucky, like, if you watch the footage, you can see the rudder violently go straight left. I'm doing everything I possibly could to not get it to the right. Anyway, it is what it is now, and that happened, and I should have done things a lot differently. People were commenting saying I should have parked the plane and got out. And of course, they're 100% right. All the people who sprayed me were 110% right. You can't argue with that. Other pilots were sending me private messages and ripping me, and like I've copped some punishment over there. Just the mental abuse of, which they're in their right to say that because they're right. Like I had no argument for it. And if anything's good about that, I'd never do that again. So. So now when you're put into a situation, like, and it's similar to, next minute you go to the pub, have a few beers, are you just going to get drunk and drive home?
Yeah.
No, you're not, because you're going to organise that before it gets to that situation. You're going to have that plan B, and that's that sort of, I never thought that would happen to me. I never thought I'd make a decision that dumb, and I did. And that's the learning, that's the lesson from that is, hey, you can make dumb decisions. It can happen under pressure, and at the time, your brain just keeps, well, at least my dumb brain, keeps justifying, oh, it's okay, it's all good. And it actually, I got away with it as far as it didn't crash into anyone or didn't hurt, no one got hurt. But I created a situation that could have been really, really bad.
Yeah, yep.
And I should have not even got close to a situation that, especially in aviation, you can't just have a situation that can possibly go bad, because it's very unforgiving. And I decided, I thought, what I want to do, regardless of what CASA does, they might throw me to jail. I don't know. So, at the time, I'm thinking, but regardless of what CASA wants to do to me or what anyone wants to do to me, I want to have 12 months off flying.
Yep.
I was getting overconfident. I was, and I think, of course, I was getting so current and doing all that practice and getting so good at. I was doing stuff in planes that planes have never done. I was doing double hammerheads in a mono wing, which is really hard to do, and I was doing those. I was doing some cool stuff.
So CASA's the licensing for planes.
Yeah, it's like I guess.
Oh,
like
and if you do anything wrong, they're the ones that.
Yeah, and they have full right. Like they can do anything to you, right? Like it's like I guess if you lose your license,
they can take your license. They can do anything. They can take you to court and all that sort of stuff.
They can. Oh, and you need that to keep the sky safe. And they're not there. They're not there to cause enemies with pilots. They're there to keep the public safe.
Yeah.
So obviously they've come down on me like a ton of bricks, and regardless of what CASA wanted to do to me, I was open and honest with CASA. We had more than one meeting, and with a board of people.
Yep.
And I was just honest and open about that wasn't the only mistake I made. There was other mistakes I'd made, and I was open and honest about that, hoping someone could. Other people learn probably the human factor part of it, not just the motor school part of it. That was only a tiny mistake. The motor school part was only a little mistake. The human factor mistake was the biggest mistake. So if I can spread that message and help someone out of it, it makes it a bit better, I guess. But anyway, regardless of what CASA wanted to do, I asked them, could I hand my licence in for 12 months? So I said, I need a year off to really think about this. I deserve a year off not flying. So I think about, and I won't fly unless I've, if I fly again, I've got to get this right. It can't just be reckless and just because it's okay. And like I say before about, driving drunk, but, just because you drive drunk and if you drive drunk and make it home and don't hurt anyone, doesn't mean it's okay. So I need to get this better and I needed 12 months off. And geez, I've done a lot of thinking about that in 12 months, and not just about flying, just all sorts of things in life, things you think you can get away with. Why do that?
Yeah.
Just calculate it and be a better person and try and help other people. I'm not even that person anymore.
Yep.
I look at that person now, the person I was, and that's not the person I want to be. I want to be more present. And I had, other pilots looking up to me and going, oh, that's cool, that stuff you're doing, be pre-Bathurst. And now they're going, oh, I'm not going to listen to anything you say anymore, you're an idiot, And that's the feeling I get.
Yep.
I think, geez, I don't want to be that guy.
The thing that is that you're actually very good in a plane and you can fly. It was just procedural, really.
Yeah.
Like when people think about it, it's not like your flying was bad or you could do everything and very safe at it. All your aerobatics, landings, I've flown with you. Everything was at a very high level, but pretty much you just made the wrong procedural decisions and I guess a bit of the safety side of it, and that's what changed. But really, you get back in the plane, you could have flown for all of this year. It wouldn't be a drama. It's just been that time off to, I guess, consider your decisions you made.
Well, just transiting, being professional, even without aerobatics, just get like what you do all the time. You're in Bankstown the other day, I was talking on the phone.
Yep.
And that's a big job, like, and all that stuff. And I live and breathe that stuff, to not have a near miss and all the technology we have now to miss other planes in the sky, because you can slam into another plane in the sky pretty easy, just straight and level. You don't have to be doing aerobatics. And I really enjoy that stuff. And I think that it was funny, the displays I actually did at Bathurst. I think I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the displays were actually great, but no one's ever mentioned it. Like, I didn't get any credit for the good stuff because I completely stuffed the one little, and which was probably the easiest bit, like just land, deliver the trophy and take off. Like, was actually way easier than all the displays I'd just done for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that's where I hang around Paul Morris a bit, as you know. And he keeps telling me it's it's the easy stuff that can bring you unstuck.
Yeah. It was actually quite funny because so Hayden took off obviously after this all went on, landed at Bathurst Airport, and there was my brother sitting there and my Lance Air 4, that's my aircraft, with one of my mates in it. So Tim goes, oh, well, I guess you parked that up. So they put it in the hangar, and then Hayden jumped in my Lance Air 4 and they gave him a lift home. So Hayden was pretty much home by the end of the race, really, after that, weren't you?
Yeah, pretty well at the end of the race, we're home, yeah. Well, I planned to be at home while the race was still on.
Yeah, right.
So I was going to take off, and poor Jess had almost, all this stuff ready to sit on the lounge and just watch the race. Anyway, that didn't happen. I got that busy. The phone was going that mental. I didn't have time to ring her to say I'm not coming.
Yeah.
So the next phone call she got was we were on final going into Toowoomba. I said, you better come to Toowoomba and get me. I got no car. So anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That was a big day. It's been
It's probably the biggest thing I remember. And obviously I'm quite close to Paul, and you've obviously got to spend a lot of time around him lately. It's probably I remember him telling me probably 6 or 7 years ago when I was like a young fella, it's like you always get remembered for the stupid shit you do, and it's never the good things that you do.
Yep.
And it's amazing how like one thing, like you've had such a good, like we hear all these great stories, but everyone only sees that one incident as, and that's like what you're, I guess, remembered for now. Whereas like I've been listening to you for the last like 5 minutes, and I've, it's amazing how you can put things into perspective so easily, and we can make mistakes. Like you can literally kill someone in a car park.
Yeah, well, it's bigger. I guess at the time, unfortunately for you, it's bigger consequences in the plane. Like the amount you got torched. We make stupid decisions all the time in a race car, and you might just bump someone off the track, and you only cop a little bit of hate over it or that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, yours was on national TV. You're the only plane coming in. First time it probably happened. So it was always going to be made a big deal, which was pretty. I remember talking to you at the time. It was pretty tough after. Like it was a lot of, like you say, pilots messaging you, copping a lot of hate over it. Obviously, the social media side of it. I think a lot of drivers don't stick their neck out or say a lot, or not only because of what happened with you, but just in general, social media is such a frenzy.
Yeah.
It just starts and it just keeps going. And like you say, you copped it. You got on to Casa and said this has happened, and we'll work out what punishment I'm going to get and make sure it doesn't happen again. But really, it's all that social media side of it, isn't it?
Oh, mentally, I see stories all the time. Other race drivers even saying you punt someone, next minute you got all this hate from a.
It's terrible.
It is, and you don't realise how bad it really is. Though you hear the stories, and you think, oh well, that's not right. That's pretty dumb that someone said that. That's cruel. But when it happens to you, like mentally, it's pretty tough. And you just think, wow, and especially when you deserved it.
Yeah.
Like, and what made me feel a little bit better, you see other things on the news, people doing real bad stuff and in real big trouble. Think, well, at least I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes you feel a bit better. But it's funny how you say, it's you're 100% right. That's what you're remembered for. You remember for them bad things, what Paul says. And some people are lucky enough to not do any bad things. They get through the whole career and can't pick anything bad.
Looking to take your ride to the next level? Wheel Pros Australia has you covered. With the biggest range of performance wheels, tyres and accessories, they bring the world's most iconic brands right to your driveway. From Fuel Off-Road and KMC to Rotiform and American Racing. Whether you're chasing off-road toughness, street performance, or that perfect show-stopping style, Wheel Pros has the gear to match. Don't just drive, stand out. Visit wheelpros.com.au today and find the perfect fit for your car.
Yeah, I think it's like, obviously we go through, I guess, the social media part, a little bit of it. And it's pretty funny because if you do actually have a look and see, I guess our generation's probably a bit different now. We've grown up with social media, so we have probably a bit more of an understanding of what the effect it can have on someone, coming through school and whatnot. But like we'll do an event or something and you'll go have a look and there'll be like the average age for the abuse for social media seems to me like between 40 and above, right?
Yep.
And you'll see some stuff on there and it's like, seriously, like how can you write something like that? Like would you like someone going up to your kids and telling them the same thing? Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It actually is quite phenomenal, the amount of stuff that people can get away. And I hate it. They can always block their Facebook and they don't want to put their neck out, but they just write a comment and can sit there and feel happy with themselves at home. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. There's good and bad sides of social media. We get to get a lot of stuff out, and there's some really good sides, but unfortunately, there's that side of it. So it would have been pretty crazy after that.
Yeah, that was pretty tough. And I guess that's, I deserve some punishment anyway, so I had to accept that. And I thought, well, there's my punishment. It's just social media on its own. And haven't been able to fly the plane. It's funny when you're a pilot, and you'd be doing this too, is you look at, you walk outside and there's no wind, no cloud, and you think, I should be flying.
Yeah,
like, most people wouldn't be thinking that. But and that's so frustrating. Like you wake up, if you've got a bit of time on a weekend or whatever, and you think, oh, wish I could just go for a burn.
Yep.
The plane's sitting in the hangar like brand new. It's just ready to go.
Well, your hobby you did every single day for hours a day was gone.
Yeah,
In
it's
1
full
second.
change of lifestyle.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what Paul's trying to get me. You know, we've been out in Norwell a bit, and I'm thinking about maybe buying a TA2 car. I might do. I steered that one that you and Paul drove the other day. I did a few laps in that at QR the other day, and that was great. And I might do a bit of drifting. We're going to build another drift car to fang around with Mitch. You know, it'd be good to do a bit of drifting with Mitch. We might drive a car each or whatever. So there's other stuff we can do apart from planes. And I've been so busy with Scotty Taylor in between building engines because we're at every supercar round with our own cars anyway. So it makes sense. Got to get there somehow. Someone else will drive a truck there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's our background. So there are other things, but yeah, I'm sort of pretty keen to...
So pretty much now, so you handed your license in. So when do you get your license back? You've had it. You said to him you want a year off. You'll do some training, which is generally what CASA do. Like CASA generally, one of my other mates lost his license for something silly, which was
what did he do?
He did a low level roll somewhere that he shouldn't have. But
Right.
you can lose your license, that's for sure. But I haven't lost mine yet, luckily. So don't look at me, CASA. What was I even going on about? I got worried about CASA getting onto me for a second then.
You've done nothing wrong.
No, I haven't done anything wrong. But yeah, pretty much with your license, when did it get taken off you, and when do you get it back?
Well, I put in a proposal to self-punish myself. So you know, when I spoke to CASA, because they could have taken me to court or whatever if they needed to. Like at the end of the day, they just want the sky safe. And they just want, you know, they realise people make mistakes.
Yep.
And if you don't learn from that mistake, well, they'll just take you out of the sky.
Yep.
So I 100% just wanted to think about it and have a year off, because I thought, well, that confidence thing, you get confident and you're starting to think, and strangely enough, in that time, that 12 months, a lot of me mates have been killed, eh? A lot of people we both know. Well, Rob Holland.
Rob Holland.
Since that Bathurst day to now, which is nearly 12 months, Rob Holland dies.
Yeah.
Gets killed in a plane crash. And you think of all the people that could possibly get killed, you think, can't be Rob. No way. Then, you know, it was a control failure, but he still died.
Yep.
And then there's been, a heap of other fatal crashes.
Paul Bennett's guy. Yeah, he's really experienced. Obviously, it wasn't fatal in the end.
Glennie Collins.
Yeah,
Collins. And that's something that we all learn from.
Yep.
Is you try and study what happened with Glennie Collins. And look at Glennie's done whatever hours I've done with a couple of zeros on the end of that.
Yeah.
Like he's a high time aerobatic guy. And he almost died.
And for people that don't know, Will was at the Avalon.
Yeah, we were
Airshow.
actually at the Avalon Air Show. That was the Avalon Air Show crash.
I was about to ask that, yeah.
Yeah, you were there. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't know. You were the first person to call me and tell me.
Yeah, well, I was there at the time. We were doing a display with running up and down the runway, which, to be honest, it's quite amazing. I actually watched a documentary on it. The small documentary they've done, and quite amazing he survived that. Like I saw all the pictures pretty quickly, like the next day, but. Yeah, I couldn't believe, and luckily for him, he looks pretty good, like from that thing the other day. But God, how it hit and how far it slid and the impact and everything, it's just amazing. And I guess crashing a pit special is like crashing a Formula Ford out of the sky. Like they're literally just bars. There's not a lot to them. Like,
so wasn't he doing a roll and it was too low?
He was. You could probably explain more, but he was doing what do you call it? Snap rolls? Was he?
Yeah, he was doing a snap. And a pull through, so he was doing a half cube and because he had to change direction.
Yep.
So he was going that way, then he had to go that way, right? And then meet up with the formation again. So he gets to the top, then he's done multiple snaps, and it started,
Drop the nose.
Yeah, it starts descending, and then continued to pull through.
Yep.
Which he'd done it a heap of times and pulled it off. But there was just no margin left. And so, anyway, same thing with the plane. There's a lot of things in motorsport that relate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the outside radius of the corner is a bit like the radius that we do hitting the ground. So sometimes to miss the ground is you let it go towards the ground. So don't command too much grip of the air. So you get it right on the limit of grip and let that off a bit. So if you do have a bit of a buffet, which is like your tyres unloading, like sliding, you have to back off. You have to release the grip, then that loses altitude. And anyway, that's what happened. And the incredible part they need to learn from, I think, geez, if that can happen to Glenn, who's done way more than I ever have, that's something. And it made me so glad I had 12 months off.
Yep.
So now I can learn from all the things and any other accidents. And I can guarantee I'm a way better pilot already right now than I was pre-Bathurst.
Yeah, it is amazing. The aerobatic scene has it's unfortunately for them, like for us, we just lock a wheel and run down an escape road or hit the fence and rebuild it. But unfortunately, in a plane, there's no sort of that's right.
Yeah.
It's
it's the most dangerous thing you can possibly do.
Yeah,
And being a display pilot, there's nothing more dangerous.
yeah.
So you obviously, and I think the confidence can.
And you're pushing a plane to its limit. Like there's failures. That's pretty much what happened to Bob Holland. There was a failure with his, wasn't there, at the end? They came out.
Yeah, and nothing he could do about that.
Yeah,
There was a control, that plug come out and a little balance weight come out and jam the elevator, and there was nothing could possibly. He tried. You could see that he was trying to do everything possible to save it, and even someone that good, as good as him, couldn't save it and turned into a really big crash.
Yeah. So you get your plane license back Sunday of Bathurst. Do you go down and do a display? You just get back into it.
Strange enough.
What's your plans now?
I should get you to fly it to Bathurst, and I'll fly it home.
That's right.
I've been leaving to fly it home. I've really got no plans.
Yep.
Because at that time I let a lot of people down. So we didn't need the media for like Supercars. Give me such a great opportunity to do what I did, and I pretty well let them down. And I know I could go and do displays again. I can get myself prepared enough to do that, but you got to take my hat off to the guys that are doing it now, like the Matt Halls and the Paul Bannetts and guys like Paulo and Donahue and there's Australian guys and even and there's guys overseas as well that just have it so calculated, and you think, geez, I need to be calculated like those guys, and I need to learn more of those guys to slow down. And the 12 months for me has been the best thing, absolutely the best thing ever. So I really don't know what the future might hold with the plane. So one thing I could just sell it and just give up, but I want to go for a burn in it.
Yep.
Once I get my license back, obviously after Bathurst. I just want to go for a burn in it, go and do a sequence and just see how much I missed it.
Yeah.
Then make a decision from there.
Yeah, it's good to keep it for the year and then see what happens. I was when Hayden said he was thinking about selling, I thought, here we go, we'll get him while he's down and get an extra 300 in the hangar.
You're such a car salesman. You're such a prick sometimes.
I did offer to hanger it for him. I thought I'll do a bit of training, but what do you reckon? I think 1 year I'd like to get up to. I want to get to a standard, not a low level aerobatic display, but I want to do an aerobatic display at Bathurst on the Wednesday.
Do you?
Yeah, I reckon that'd be cool. Yeah. I've got my aerobatic license. I'm not to a level of...
I'll come as your safety pilot.
These
Just do it
guys.
in my plane.
I don't know how safe that is, actually, after watching it. No, no, but that's the plan. That's what I thought. Could get someone like your plane, like Hayden, would let me fly it, and I'd have to do training, obviously a fair bit of training to get there, but a dumb aerobatic thing, and it wouldn't be too hard to get to a level that you could do above, 3,000 foot?
No, you can't do it above 3,000.
No one will see you. No. So what would I have to get down to?
Oh, you sort of got to be 500 for him because, no, you really have to be. Even 1,500 doesn't work because, especially my plane, because that fast.
Yeah,
and it does vertical so much. The amount of vertical it does, it just goes out of sight. So obviously you do it at 1,500.
I'm trying to think with aerobatic.
500's enough.
3,000's the limit I've got right now, isn't it?
Correct.
So pretty much you drop from there. So for
to
people at home,
1,500's
I've got
next.
my 3,000 rating. I can go to aerobatics, and it drops to 1,500. Then you go 500. Then you get surface, don't you?
Correct.
And you're 500.
Yeah.
And Matt Hall and all that are surface. They can do it pretty much wherever they want. Yeah. So even if I could get down to 1,000, surely I've got a year to train. Surely next year that's the goal.
Well,
You don't worry about qualifying first.
Well, that's why I'm going to improve my qualifying from then to now, and then I'll do that. You got a
I'm
point.
That might help you
Triple
qualify.
Eight will be stoked with you flying a plane before the biggest race of the
No,
year.
Wednesday. Wednesday's early. Oh, we'll do it at Townsville or somewhere.
That makes
Somewhere
it so
easy.
much better.
Well, I'll do
I'd
a
love
few
to do
trips
one.
to Toowoomba.
Yeah.
Because Toowoomba's a good spot for aeros too.
Yep.
So we'll just go to Toowoomba and jump in it and start
Well,
doing stuff.
you're right to fly. What's the date, Ainsley? How many days has Hayden got?
Got about 10 days.
10
9 days
days
maybe,
until you get to
if
fly
it was
again.
the same weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you
I
gonna
hadn't even thought of it. It's that close, eh?
Well, you're obviously not in a rush to get back in it.
Well, it's been that long. I just had to sort of forget about it and just focus on everything else in life at the minute, and just think, oh well, the plane's safe sitting in the hangar there, and it's I'll worry about it when it comes back. And I've been that busy too.
No, you have been busy.
Been pretty, been pretty
Supercar
busy.
stuff, you're building engines. We probably can't say who for, but you're building engines for categories. in
Categories.
Supercars. You obviously Mitch is doing all the Boost Mobile activations with his drift car. You guys are driving the trucks around. You're doing a lot inside Supercars, and hopefully, hopefully if you're at the next, what are you at Bathurst?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So
Actually, in Bathurst, we're doing some activation stuff. I have to be there Tuesday morning, actually, so I leave Monday.
Yep.
So I'll be there Tuesday morning, obviously, for the week. And, and in between, obviously, we're doing a heap of engines for some other race series, which we can't say too much about at the minute. And we're behind the scenes we do a lot with Aussie Cars too. We're trying to help them with a plan.
Yep.
To improve those engines.
Yeah, didn't they have 15 blow up at Tail and Bend or something?
I heard that. We've got to do something to fix that. So we built a lot of engines, but we haven't done a lot of Aussie car engines. So I've got some Aussie car engines there now. We've pulled them apart, and we're learning what to do to, and it's not up to me to make a rule on it, but I will make a recipe and suggest it, and if they want to take that on, they can. So, but reliability's got to come there to get guys.
Have you seen? So one thing that makes me laugh about Aussie Cars is that formula hasn't changed. Like the engine hasn't changed for the last 10 plus years?
20 years probably.
So, but every year the track record lowers, and it's on the same tyre, and the tracks are getting older.
Yeah.
And all the motors are blowing up now.
So obviously the drivers are just getting way better. It's not the engines.
Oh yeah. So obviously the motor's just that hot rodded now.
Yeah, well for 15 to be blowing up, they must be running them pretty hot.
I don't know.
I reckon you do, and you're just not telling us. Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, everything's fixable.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah. Well,
Everything's fixable with common sense.
yeah, and as long as you know what the problem is, as long as you know what's wrong, you can't fix it if you don't know what's wrong. So we're going to be behind the scenes helping.
That's great.
Hopefully we can help fix that. And we've got a few cool options to actually get that over the line.
Yep.
Then, and if you walk into our shop, there's just absolute engines everywhere. So we're sort of living and breathing engines at the minute. And which is a bit of fun, yeah.
Thanks for coming on as well, because I guess we all know you for the great bloke you are, but a lot of people just knew you as the dickhead that crashed at Bathurst, so we wanted to take that away.
I'm still copping that for a bit.
Yeah. But the other thing we do on our show, we wanted to, we like doing a young gun shout out, and you've obviously been around Norwell a fair bit and around TA2, Aussie Cars, all these things, so you'd probably know someone. Do you know someone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, probably Jared Hughes, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you know him?
Norwell, and he's good mates with Graham Cheney, and he comes into a shed all the time. He's always hanging around, and he makes us laugh too. He's got the right personality for you got to have a sponsor, don't you? So if anyone can grab a sponsor, Jared's the perfect fit, and he drives pretty well, and he's just a great young kid. Yeah.
Yep.
I really like Jared.
pick.
So
that's a good choice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job, obviously in Super 2 and all that.
and he'll make you laugh too.
Yeah.
So he'll sort of
Oh, that's great. Well, there you go, Jared Hughes. And got anything else, Ains?
Yeah, we've got our Q&As. Quick ones. What's the craziest rumour you've ever heard about yourself?
I heard one the other day that apparently I'm going to DJR to take over Will Davison, and Will Davison's going to Triple Eight to take my seat. That was a pretty crazy rumour.
Is it a rumour?
That's mine. You guys got any?
No, people aren't really talking about me. Maybe they will next week.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know
When
if
this
left
comes
out.
out.
For me, the last rumour about me was I was doing Chicago,
Oh, yeah.
just past, in the NASCAR
Past.
race.
I'm trying to think of some crazy rumours I've heard about Brodie. I would have heard a
Ooh,
lot.
that's pretty tame.
I actually might make one up. Just let me think about it.
Well, most of the ones you do make up about me.
Yeah, that's true. Just send it off like it's real.
If the Supercars grid had a 100-metre sprint race, who'd be the top 5?
Oh, Brodie had some pace on him.
I reckon I'd win.
Remember we did an Erebus training day? I won the 5K, but Brodie got me in the 100. Big boy gets going, I can tell
I
you
do.
that.
I get going.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you reckon would win?
I reckon I'd be. I race
You reckon
Woody.
you'd be a contender?
So Woody
I reckon
thought.
I'd pull a
But
Hemi.
you got to pick top 5. You don't even have to say who wins, just top 5 fastest runners.
Top 5 fastest. geez, you can't say top 5. Let's go top 3. I reckon that Macaulay Jones would have to be up there. Andre Heimgartner looks lean, like he's got a little bit of pace in those legs. And I'm going to go... I'll chuck Brodie up there just to see what pace he's got in him.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably pretty fair.
Yeah.
I'd train for it.
Can we stage this?
Yeah.
Mountain straight?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I think we
A
should.
Le Mans start. You know
Yeah.
how they used to run to their cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't have the pace at all these days.
What do you mean these days?
Felt like in grade 7 I had pace, okay?
You get those little legs moving. You must have ran that fast all your eyebrows fell off.
Oh, God.
When are we going to see a Bush versus Brown sprint car heat?
Oh, that's not fair, is it? I think I've got to do a bit more training in a sprint car. I think that'd be awesome. We should do that on off season, like a test day and then a race at a test day between me and you. So not all the cars are out there, but unfortunately, one of our great sponsors, Complete Parts and Equipment, Sean Dyson, he sold his sprint car equipment. So
Yeah, as soon as we started asking him, hey, can we have a drive? He
Yeah,
just
he
sold
sold
it.
it.
Thanks,
So-
What a
Sean.
coincidence.
So, if someone has 2 sprint cars out there, I'm sure Brodie's already got one, so I just need one.
Yeah, I've
and
got
we'll,
one.
We'll get this. We'll put it on a Lucky Dogs YouTube channel. We'll do it at the end of the year.
Or
If
a
I
drift
beat
off.
you. A drift off? We could do that. One of those.
Come and jump in our
I
cars.
can't drift, though.
Oh.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah. We've got a few there, so that'll be good.
Last one. Do you have a pre-race meal or any pre-race routines you always follow?
Ooh.
Oh, I reckon my pre-race, I don't know, my pre-race meal used to always be like, just like clean chicken or banana, like definitely bananas is pretty big. I like bananas.
Yeah. I'm pretty basic. I'm just steak every
Thanks.
night. Everything. So there you go. You got a banana. Yeah, no, that's about me. I'm just steak and chips
And I
and
don't,
sauce.
I don't have a routine. Like, and I remember you didn't used to have a
No,
routine.
I don't have a routine.
Yeah.
Are you playing handball
remember-
now?
Oh, yeah, but that's not a routine.
I
but
remember.
That's a
just
way
'cause-
of life.
Just because I feel, yeah, that's a way of life.
So-
I just feel like I can beat a few people in handball, so it makes me feel good.
I know he doesn't. I know Will doesn't have a routine because in 2022 we're getting ready for Bathurst. We're getting ready to go out for a practice, and he's rolled out to the garage, putting his helmet on, and he's still in his sneakers.
Yeah, I forgot to put my race shoes on. That happens a little bit with me.
And you've got to go get in the car, and you're like, "Oh shit! I didn't even put my race boots on."
Well, it was wet and I didn't know, so I didn't put my boots on. And then I went to hop in the car and I was hopping in. I'm like, no, they're not my race boots, so had to switch them over.
You would have still had your Crocs on, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty good with it. I'm pretty organised with all that stuff.
Right.
I've gotten better. That's
Been
it.
known to do a few laps in Crocs, mate, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. I drive in Norway on Crocs all the time, so I need to get Crocs to hook me up with some race boots.
Well, that's all the questions Ains has. So thanks, Hayden. We appreciate you coming on. Obviously, got Bathurst next week, so it's a year on. But yeah, appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks for letting us hang out.
No, thanks,
Ripper,
mate.
mate.
We'll see you there.